Hey, this is Kynan from Silver Tiger Media, and I have the absolute pleasure to be joined by Joel by Kisschasy. How's it going?
Good, Conan. How you doing, man?
Good. Now, November 28th, I believe, 2015, there was a status on Kiss Chasey's Facebook
Hmm.
page saying, "This is it." 3 words. There were tears in beards, and the collective wails of grief were just absolutely deafening. Years later, 2022, we are finally reuniting for Good Things Festival. How does it feel? What have you guys been doing in the meantime?
It's very exciting. It's a little nerve-wracking at this point. It's been a very hot minute. We still have not rehearsed as a full band yet. Darren gets back into the country today, so we've got 3 days of intensive rehearsals coming up. Try and get us ready for Friday. But as far as what we're all doing, all very different stuff. I've not been involved in music at all. Um, Daz is living in LA, as I said. He's sort of running some businesses over there and still involved in music to a certain point. Guys are having families. Carl and Sean have got a couple kids each, and I think they're both builders now. So all just being adults at the moment.
Absolutely. I can't believe it. Like not one rehearsal yet. That's got to be
No,
is it nerve-wracking at all like getting back into it?
it is. I've been practicing by myself a little. Um, I don't know if you've ever played bass, but it's not the most enthralling instrument to play on your own. Um, but feels pretty good solo, I think. A few of the songs are pure muscle memory, the ones that were sort of traveled through us with our career. There are quite a few in there that have not played probably since not long after the album was released in 2005. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we go.
Absolutely. As a fellow bass player myself, yeah, I can definitely agree. It's like a totally different feeling playing alone compared to at least just having a drummer like in the room with you.
Correct. That's all I
Um,
need. But yeah, anyway, we'll
yeah,
see how we go tomorrow.
how did this reunion come about? Was this idea bounced around prior to Good Things?
Yeah, it was actually. So we'd actually started talking about this in 2019 because 2020 was to be the 15-year anniversary since that album was released. And it wasn't something that came out of the blue sky. I think Darren had bumped into our booking agent in LA, and they had a conversation over dinner, and sort of I think that's where the idea was sort of uh, born. And then obviously we started looking at booking some stuff and actually had some dates in place. Then obviously we went through a bit of a shit fight for the last couple of years. Did some scheduling, rescheduling, trying to keep it alive. And just as we were sort of thinking about, fuck it, it's too hard. Good Things sort of said, no, we are happening 2022, and offered to have us on board to play that album as we'd planned to do for the tour. So sort of all worked out great because I couldn't think of a better way to knock the rust off and celebrate playing music together again than a huge behemoth of a festival like this.
Absolutely. And like what a way to come back for the festival setting. It's must be absolutely riveting. You're surrounded by some amazing bands as well as yourselves. Was there anybody that caught your eye once the lineup was announced?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple. No effects, certainly. I'm nearly 40 years old and somehow I've never seen them live. So pretty keen to catch those guys. Can't wait to see the actual Bring With Horizon stage show. From what I've seen online and around the place, it's a bit of a sight to behold. So catching that will be great. The Story So Far are another band I listen to that haven't had a chance to see live. So, and then there's a couple that just got added. You and I are now on the bill, so get to see those guys every day, which would be pretty amazing. And then there's a couple of other bands that I've not actually seen live or listened to, but sort of pretty keen to just walk around the festival and try and hear some new music live as a first sort of impression, which is a way I like to find music.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I wanted to talk a little bit about the background of the band now. I remember when I was doing my research, I had my 10-year-old brother see the name and he's like, "Who's Chasey and why are we kissing them?" So how did that name come about?
I don't know if it's still a thing, but it was when I was in like primary school or early school. It's like kiss and catch or kiss and tag.
Mm,
It was just colloquially known as Kiss Chasey in, well, at least at my primary school. And when it came time to pick a name for the band, we had a bit of a list, and we were all literally just spitballing random bits and pieces, and that was the least bad one. So that's how
absolutely.
it got in there. Yeah, it's been spelt every way you can imagine. But yeah, it's sort of, I think it's memorable enough for people. It doesn't. I look at probably it evokes a certain type of music now, but when we started, we didn't want it to give people a preconception of what we did and what we sounded like. So we think at the start, at least, it certainly helped us with that as well.
100%. Yeah, it's funny how small little things like that can just make cool band names. It's awesome.
I'd hate to have to think of a new band name. Like if it started from scratch today, what a stressful
Oh,
experience. Okay.
tell me about it. Story of my life. Let's go back to 2005. Could you describe the feeling around that time upon the release of your debut album, United Paper People?
Yeah, it was pretty exciting to do a. Obviously, we'd done a lot of recording prior to that at various levels. So demos, we did some EPs and things. Um, but to sit down and work with, a professional producer, an engineer, and in a proper studio was pretty wild. And coming out of it and going through that whole after an album process for anyone that's recorded music, it's not like you finish on the last day and you've got an album. It's got to go be mixed and mastered and all these things that you're sort of trying to understand. Um, and then going through the artwork journey as well, we had a great time with the guys from Debasa, who we still do a little bit of stuff now with us. Uh, Having the opportunity to have a really good discussion about the art, and it was back then, it was only physical CDs, so the artwork was quite important to us, and was as it was to every album back then. So the whole package of it all, and then realizing that radio was playing songs, and it wasn't just us in a garage anymore, was sort of all surreal. And then to have, it's one of the only bits of art in my office, but there's a gold record behind me, which is for that record, which again was not in my wildest dreams something that we thought was achievable when we were playing music. So it sort of enveloped all of that belief and the hard work we'd done, playing to no one for no money for, 3 or 4 years before that. To have that and have something to hold and something that we were really proud of was sort of what got the momentum going to keep moving forward and keep writing music as a band.
Beautiful. Just out of curiosity, what's the whole songwriting process like between you guys? Is it more collaborative? Everyone just combines some ideas and vibes and stuff, or?
It certainly evolved as we went along. This record was basically Darren would come in with the bones of songs, and we would all sort of argue it out and figure it out as we sort of played along. As the band progressed and we realised the talent that Darren had for what for songwriting, we certainly let a lot more of that weight on his shoulders. And he was never adverse to input, but it certainly had, as we sort of went down our career, it was more of a definitely more driven by Daz. But at this stage, it was certainly more of a collaborative effort. Early days.
Absolutely. That's super cool. Yeah, awesome. Now, with good things fast approaching this weekend, and this can be just between you and I if we want, does this mean afterwards, post festival, near future, further future, whatever, is Kisschasy back?
Look, we have not had the conversation at this point. We have agreed to have a conversation whilst we're together in person. It'll hinge a lot on what happens, how the festival goes. I think we'll be able to gauge pretty quickly the appetite for our music now, by the reaction of whoever comes along to watch us play. So, look, it's absolutely a possibility. I don't foresee any new music, especially short term. I don't think that that's something that everyone's sort of got the time for, or that much drive for. But never say never. Who knows? We might have the best time ever and quit our day jobs.
Beautiful. Well, we hope that's the case and we can get some more material from you guys. That'd be awesome. Look, Joel, thank you so much for your time today. We are absolutely so fucking keen to see you guys on stage at Good Things Festival this weekend.
Kylan, appreciate it, man. Appreciate having me.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Joel.
Thank you.